Hello and welcome back to Mindful Sojourn. I'm Janie and I'm glad you're here today. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm glad you are stopping by and I hope you'll stick around. And to the returning viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. I've had some inconsistency lately in my regular scheduled times for publishing my videos. I normally publish on Tuesday and Thursday, but we were traveling for the last 2 weeks visiting family, and so I've had some inconsistencies, but we're home and I'm preparing for a craft fair. So in case you're new, I have been working on a batch of 10 junk journals. These are cereal box, primarily junk journals. Some of them are also made from Amy's frozen dinner boxes, just to give you an idea of the variety of sizes. And yeah, so I'm preparing for a craft fair, my first one. And so I have gotten all of the journals up to the point of having the pages sewn in. But what I'm doing here now is going through and doing some additional page decoration. Some of these pages already have inking and stamping, as you can see. So like I use rubber stamps to add like those leaves in the corner of these pages of some of them. Some of them are travel themed stamps. But that's just to take a blank page and give it, something pretty to look at, rather than just a plain white background. And you can see in the middle of that signature, I had right there a piece of just plain white printer paper that I just painted on. Same with this page here with these diagonal brown paint strokes or brush strokes. I just like to decorate some of the pages like that, just to give people ideas. That way the recipient of this journal, if they're more of a writer or a photographer and they're using this just to document photos and pictures and stuff, they may not want to take the time to add some page decorations here. And so these will already have some just basic art types of things in it, so that way it's less of a blank slate. So these are going to be more on the finished side, whereas some of my journals will not have as much of my own art or glamming up, and those will be more of a blank slate. And I'm thinking about selling those with just maybe some kind of a bundle of handmade envelopes and pockets and things. That way they can put the pockets in where they want them. And so it'll be more of like a customizable junk journal. And so if you're interested in more of the craft side of this and not just using the journal, buying it as a completed product, with all of the pockets and everything sewn and glued. I can't talk today. I'm still a little jet lagged. But you could buy it with, as more of a completed product so that it's just ready to use and to stuff with all of your ephemera and memorabilia. So there will be some that are more complete like that, and that's what you see me working on here. So I'm thinking about selling some just bundles of scraps and fabric scraps. That way the recipient of that one would have the freedom to decorate it and give it more of a theme that they might want. Maybe they have a collection of magazine photos or something of a particular style, and they want a junk journal that they can go to town with and do collage art and decorate it the way they want it. That's a possibility. That's one way that these treasure books can be used. I like to call them treasure books because for me, the way I use them, they store my little treasures, things that I collect on trips, you know, whether it's pictures or tickets or train tickets that I can look back on and remember the places we went. That's how I love to use a junk journal. Excuse me, I'm enjoying my cup of coffee. I was drinking a cup earlier and I spilled some of it. Well, we spilled some of it. So I thought I would treat myself to a second cup while I work on this video. So yeah, I filmed this yesterday while I was jet lagged and I had such a terrible headache, and I was actually thinking about that. I think it's not so much jet lag as it is just having a toddler. By the time I went to bed, I had been awake for 24 hours and then I got 5 non-consecutive hours of sleep, and so I was running on fumes yesterday. Running on empty, I should say. So yeah, I had some time in the afternoon and evening to film this, and I'm just now sitting down to edit it. That's why my regular Thursday video was not published yesterday. This was supposed to be published yesterday, but it was a little crazy here. The dogs were excited to have us home, so there was a lot of background noise. But yeah, so I'm actually going through my stash of pockets. These are some of the pockets that will be included in almost all of the journals because these are easy to include as a removable. These types of pockets, they're folded, these ones in particular are folded map pages, and some of the smaller ones are made from book pages. So I have a variety of shapes and sizes of pockets and envelopes. Some of them I will glue into the books and some of them will be removable. So these are easy to add in to any journal as a removable pocket that the recipient of the journal could then do what they want. They could keep it as a removable, you can clip it to a page or use a paper clip, or you could glue it down. So that's just one of the ways to give a journal a more finished touch and decorate a page, but you also give the recipient the freedom to further decorate and add their creative spark to the journal. So this is a fun pocket. It's an origami pocket, I think. I got the idea from this particular pocket fold idea from Pam at the Paper Outpost. And I had done similar folds like this for, it was actually my friends when we would pass notes in church, like, or in school, like in middle school, we would fold up a paper, like a sheet of notebook paper, and we would fold it in a way that it was like sealed. And that's how we would pass notes. So I had done folds like that before, but this particular envelope that I had just shown you, I got that fold from the Paper Outpost, and so yeah, I had fun creating all of these tags and pockets en masse a couple months ago. So I had these on hand, and now I'm getting around to customizing some of them and making them fit the themes for the journals I'm making. So like these tags that I was just going with, oh wait, hold on. I'm interrupting myself here in this voiceover. These are postcards that I guess you could say invested in for these journals. They were $1 a piece at the antique mall, and a lot of them are actual antique postcards from some, I think, from the 30s or 40s. Some are newer from like the 70s or 80s, but a lot of them are pretty old. And so those are handwritten postcards from, seems like eons ago. But so just getting back to the pockets here, these are scraps of scrapbook paper, and so these are good to have. They're cut-offs, and then you can cut them down further into whatever shaped pockets you want. You can do diagonal or square. The diagonal ones are nice to use as corner pockets, so you can see how I use them here. And yeah, so going back to the tags, some of the tags are made from book pages, and then I wanted to include 3 in particular in this journal, which I think it's definitely going to be the travel themed junk journal. But I have an Amtrak ticket brochure or timetable brochure. I'm not sure what to call it. I need to actually take a second to, like look at the front of it and see exactly what it is. But it has train timetables, and it's the timetable booklet from 1991. And so it has, I used some of the pages with California routes to become these tags. And so those are included in this journal. Those are just some, easy handmade ephemera. But I think what I was saying before I interrupted myself about the postcards, I made all of these envelopes and pockets as a mass make a couple months ago. And those are good to have as like blank slate pieces of ephemera that you can include in a junk journal. And also if you're, watching this to see what might be included in a junk journal, if you're interested in buying one, these are the kind of things that you might find. But these pockets and envelopes I made a couple months ago, and then I just had kept them on hand and didn't decorate them. And so you might see some of that in this video, maybe adding washi tape or stickers just to customize them. Now what I'm doing here, I'm using a strip of scrap paper, and then I'm going to sew onto it with my machine. I'll sew on the lace and I believe some ribbon, some sheer ribbon as well. So I'm just going through my stash of scraps, and you'll see how it becomes a page trim. And so it just adds a decorative trim to the edge of the page. But I think this one, the way I glue it down, it becomes also a side tuck. So you can see the stitch there. I'm obsessed with this stitch. I think it looks really well with lace rather than just a straight line stitch. So you'll see the way I glue this down. It gives the lace tab on the edge of the page, but then applying the glue here on just 3 sides, it turns it into a side tuck, which I don't think I demonstrate here just yet, just because I want to give the glue a chance to dry before testing it out. But I do demonstrate, I think, with a postcard and show you how you can just stick a postcard, tuck it in right there on the page. So it's a great way to display your collection of leftover postcards from a trip. Let's say I'm notorious for doing that when we travel. I'll go into a souvenir shop and buy like 10 postcards, and then I might only actually send half of them to friends and family. So I have quite a few postcards on hand, and this is a great way to store them and keep them in almost like a postcard album or a postcard scrapbook of sorts. And it allows you to just flip back through. You can throw in travel pictures, and you can flip through that, and it's a little memory book. So that's why I call them treasure books or memory books, because that really describes what or how a junk journal is used. It's used as a keepsake book. It's a memory book, a treasure book. And then, but the way it's made, yes, it's a junk journal. It's upcycled paper, it's upcycled junk mail. The structure of it is made out of some kind of cardboard box, whether it be a cereal box or a macaroni box. And then it's covered in fabric, and it might be nice brand new fabric like this travel journal. I don't know if you get a good view of it. I think you do in this video, but it's fabric that I bought for $5 at Walmart. I decided to invest in some brand new fabric because I haven't been sewing for very long, so I didn't have a ton of fabric on hand to use. And while I do have a lot of old clothes that I have weeded out from my closet and washed, I have some denim and leather or pleather things on hand that I'm really looking forward to using in the near future for my next batch of journals. I'm already getting ideas for some covers and different textures to experiment with. So I'm trying not to let my ADD run away with me and get distracted already thinking about the next project as I literally cross the finish line on this project. I'm trying to stay focused. But yeah, this is a travel themed junk journal that I'm working on. And as I was saying, the cover is, rather than being upcycled clothing material, I am using some travel themed, it's like an old world map or atlas page on the fabric, and it just has like an antiqued look. And so I'm loving throwing in touches of lace anywhere I can on some of these page trims or pockets, just to tie that vintage feel all together. I don't know. I'm just really having fun with this one. But as I mentioned before, some of the journals are going to be more of a blank slate. They won't have this amount of embellishing in them, and they'll be more of a blank canvas for you to embellish some of the pages how you might want. So that's one of the fun things about junk journals, is that if you're looking to get into it as a hobby or as, a way to scrapbook, and you may not want to make the entire thing from scratch, but you do want to add your art to it and use it as an art journal, you could invest, whether it be mine or another artist's, another junk journal artist's. You could buy one that is more blank and use it as an art journal, like I was saying. Or if you're a writer, you could fill the pages with writing, and you would want to look for, again, whether it be mine or someone else's, you would want to look for one that might say that it has a lot of pages for writing or heavy on writing pages. So I'm just trying to give you ideas on how these might be used, whether you're just curious and interested, or if you're looking to use one, but like I said, you don't want to make the entire thing from scratch. Maybe you aren't a crafty hoarder like I am and have a stack of broken down cereal boxes in one of your cupboards. Who does that? I think to be an artist, you have to be a little crazy. Don't worry, I'm not going to end up on the hoarding TV show. My husband's always joking about us hoarding things, but I think we keep it pretty tidy, I like to have my living room kind of looking like an old study, having my sewing machine and typewriter on a desk that I actually found on Facebook Marketplace, and it fit the style of our room perfectly with all my old books and cameras. And I like to think that this journal reflects that. Could easily be a journal that I would use myself. It's travel, it's antique, some of the pages and things included are actual antique pieces, or even like these Amtrak tickets that I turned into tags, not Amtrak tickets, Amtrak timetables for the train that I turned into tags. They're not antique like, the 1930s, but they're from the 1990s, which, is the end of the last century. It's crazy to think of it that way. But yeah, as you can see, I'm trying to include lace touches wherever I can in this. But yeah, I'd like to think that this journal reflects, I don't know, my character or my decor. I'll have to take a picture of it with the cover of this journal next to some of the antique books I collect. So I'd like to think that this, I don't know, it really is an art when you put these books together. It's, I don't know, not to get all sappy, but it's like a piece of me. Just because this one really reflects my personal interests. Now, some of the other journals will be a completely different style. They'll be vibrant colors, and some of the embellishing will be with magazine pages. So as you can see here, I added a machine sewn stitch along the edge just for some embellishing. So this tag is also a journal card. I like to do journal cards in this shape of tags just because, the tag just gives it that fun ephemera feel, like it could have been a tag from, antique, an antique shop or something. So I like to cut them in this shape, but they're journal cards. So they're tags, but they're also journal cards. I don't know if that was necessary to go into that detail, but I guess some tags, I think it is necessary to point out if you're new to this, because some journal cards are not shaped like tags. Some of them might be, other shapes. They might be something that's tucked into an envelope. So I think the reason I'm going into all of this detail, I should say, on this trip that we just got home from, we were visiting family in New York, and I had the chance to talk to a new friend. She's a new friend of mine, but I met her for the first time on this trip, but she feels like family. She's dating my husband's cousin, and they've been together a long time, and we've been to New York and since my husband and I have been together, I guess, but we just hadn't met because just timing, and we really bonded. She bought a junk journal like 2 years ago and hadn't used it yet, just because she let me flip through it, and it's a beautiful book, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed flipping through it and enjoying another person's artwork, because they had done similar things to the ones I've been making with some of these pages that I've included as with the brush strokes or the page decorations and the stamping and painting, because some of those pages are it might be watercolor or whatever, just to decorate the page. And to see another person's work, it was just really inspiring. But the reason she hadn't used it was because she bought it to use, and she hadn't gone down the junk journal rabbit hole like I did on YouTube. And so there were things hidden in the journal that she didn't know was maybe like a hidden journal spot. And it was really fun to go through it with her and enjoy discovering it and finding like all the hidden pockets or hidden journal spots. And so it was really fun. And but like I said, she bought it like 2 years ago, and so I think that inspired me to maybe talk about some of this in this video as I add all these touches to this journal and, you know, customize it a little bit. Might be fun to talk a bit more about what I'm doing. I know I had some videos recently that I just put music over, and there will probably be music in this video as well, just to kind of fill some of these gaps of maybe where I take a sip of coffee, like right now. Cue coffee. You too, enjoy a cup. Or a sip, whether you're working and or crafting. Remember to stay hydrated. But yeah, I'm enjoying adding lace on all these tags or page trims. But like I said, some of the other journals won't have this, and you could do some of this customization yourself. If you have a collection of upcycled fabric, or maybe some nicer lace fabric that you've invested in, and you are a seamstress of sorts and you want to do some fabric collaging in an album, or I guess, yeah, you could think of this as like an art album, or I don't know. There's so many different uses for junk journals. That's why I love them. You could use it like a diary and with solid text. Oh, here's a good shot of the fabric I was talking about earlier, cover of this journal. I'm having so much fun decorating this one, and there's an altered paper clip I don't think I mentioned before. I think I do a couple of those in this, but yeah. Oh, I love this cover. Now this postcard, when I was talking about the postcards earlier, I think I forgot to mention, that's not one of the postcards actually that I bought at the antique store. This postcard was in a gardening book that I bought recently to try to learn a thing or two to get ready for next spring. And I was flipping through the pages, and this postcard was tucked in there. I think I bought it at it's either a thrift store or the Goodwill for like $1 or $2. But I've been trying to develop some kind of green thumb. I haven't had the best of luck with gardening. Actually, I shouldn't say that. We did in Spain. I don't know if it's a weather thing, but we had a couple really good gardens in Spain that did well. We had vegetables one year, and some sunflowers did really well. And I don't know, it must just be the climate. And I had lavender. Oh, maybe it was the soil. I don't know. But everything we grew there did well. But since being back in San Diego, not so much luck. So yeah, I bought a gardening book, and this that Portugal postcard was tucked in the pages. So I'm including that in this travel themed junk journal, and that is a page of it's the weight of printer paper. So but it's a printed like copy of an old newspaper, I think. I bought it at I got that also at the antique shop, but one of the booths at my favorite antique shop sells scrapbook type of supplies, like washi tape and decorative 6x6 sheets or booklets of scrapbook paper. So just fun things, but they're all antique themed. So she has I need to meet the the curator of that booth, because I love it so much, and I want to know. I have a feeling like the owner of that booth is a junk journaler. There's just a sense about it. But yeah, this pocket here is scrapbook no, not scrapbook paper. I don't even know how to describe this paper. It's textured, the brown piece there. And I got that at the swap meet for $1 in a paper pack. This one sheet wasn't $1, but the paper pack was, and it has gorgeous faux handmade paper. Maybe it really is handmade paper, I'm not sure. But this piece was included in it, and I loved the texture. It's almost like fabric, but it's paper. I'm obsessed with it. And so I just, with my sewing machine, I stitched on this paper doily that's inked and antiqued. So yeah, I'm just trying to give this travel junk journal an antiqued flair. So what I'm doing here, whenever I glue something down, whether it's a pocket or page trim of some kind, I use Tombow Mono Aqua glue. So I think the reason it wrinkles the page when I glue pockets on is because it's a water-based glue. You could also use, to avoid the wrinkling, you could use double-sided tape to sew down your pockets and tuck spots. But what I'm doing here, I'm still gluing it down, so it's a little more secure, I think, than tape would be. And I'm covering the wrinkle by, I'm using this paper trim, well, it's paper scrap, and I'm using it as a page trim. Sorry, I'm still just jet lagged enough that I can blame my difficulty to find words today. I'm just tired enough that I can still blame it on that. But I'm also using a scrap of lace trim. I think that's actually the last of that lace trim. I've enjoyed using that on different embellishments. So I'm just using that to kind of hide the wrinkle on this page from gluing down the pocket on the opposite side of the page. And I think I turned this into a tuck spot, but I'm just decorating it with some washi tape. Just add a nature flair. If you're anything like me, you love to visit gardens when you travel. So when I do a junk journal like this for myself, I will definitely be printing some of my garden pictures from some of our favorite cities, like, well, mine are London, and I loved Barcelona. I think I liked Barcelona more than Spain. I can't talk. I liked Barcelona more than Madrid. But the thing I did like about Madrid was the gardens. They had beautiful gardens. And so I'll be printing some of those pictures. They would actually work as postcards. I might actually print some postcards of my own pictures to sell for, I'd probably sell them for just the cost of printing them. That way I could also give them away as, if I gave away a few, it could be like almost a business card too. But yeah, I'll be printing some of my garden pictures from the cities we've visited. That's a fun thing to fill your junk journal with, travel photos. Well, guys, I think the babe might be waking up soon, so I need to say au revoir. And I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of it. I'm just going through my stash, decorating this journal, finding things to include. Stick around for more. I've got a lot more crafting to do. Preparing not only for this craft fair tomorrow, but also I have 2 more coming up in December, so I'll be preparing for those, so I have a lot of what I like to think of as crafting vibe sessions. So some of the videos might just be me crafting and I throw music onto it because I don't have time to do all the video editing and narration like I'm doing now. So let me know which video types you prefer. I try to have a blend, so if you are one who likes to watch a crafting video and just have music over it, I have got some of those, and some I'm a bit more chatty, like I am today. So I hope there's something for everyone, and I hope you're inspired to upcycle and recycle and be creative, and I hope you're doing well wherever you are, and thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of this video production by Mindful Sojourn. Sorry, I'm just being silly. I'm crazy. That's what being awake for 24 hours will do to you. But hey, I love it. It was worth it to see family. And so I hope you have some opportunity this season to do the same, reconnect with family and friends. That's what I love about this season. You know, whatever's going on, it still sometimes manages to bring people together, and I'm thankful for that. So anyways, be well. I'm gonna shut up.